Did you miss me? Did you miss me? I know you missed me because I missed you. And I want to thank everyone who was on live with me last night. It was popping, the chat was going. I appreciate everyone who was on with me last night. Had a great time. Just a reminder, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m., we will do live. And every first Tuesday of the month, we'll do members live at 9, and then we'll do a regular live at 10. So if you aren't a member and you want to be part of that members live group, it's different stuff that we talk about, separate from what we'll talk about at 10 o'clock on that members live. So if you want to be a part of that, become a member today. It's only $1.99 a month, so it's not that much. Jump on board, become a member, and get to experience and enjoy the members live as well, along with graphics and little silly stuff like that. But I appreciate everyone who was on last night. I thank you so much. And we are here again. Welcome back to another edition of Rudy's Rant, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont, aka Rudy the Hammer. We talking facts over feelings. This is what we do, as you know. I forgot to put my little necklace on, but you know what? I don't feel like it. It is heavy. Bad boy. Rudy's Rant. Yes, sir. Okay, some of y'all might be asking, what did I do to that ending image and why my face is red? I made it red because it's supposed to be like fire, like my blood pressure's boiling and I'm on fire. Yeah, maybe I come up with another idea, but I hope you like the new ending image if you got to the end of the videos. I'm here to talk about a topic that really craws at me, which has been seen already by people. I saw it today when I was in the field today for my day-to-day job and visiting clients, and I see this video pop up on Twitter, and I'm sitting here saying, "Is this for real? Is this for real?" And it's one of those things where you just at a certain point you have to just give up. It's like, what am I fighting? What is the purpose of fighting this shit anymore? Because there are people that no matter what happens, they are not going to change. They're going to continue with the rhetoric, the bullshit, and they're gonna wear you out mentally to where it's like, who gives a shit? And I'm not there yet. I'm not at that point of like, I don't care what y'all these idiots say anymore because they don't make any sense and they just sound like some crybabies. But I'm sharing with you a video that I saw today about Caitlin Clark, about how once again, it's not because of her, it's because of me too. Remember that Angel Reese thing about how she said people are going to be saying they watched basketball. It's not just because of one person, it's because of me too. Yeah, remember that. I remember that really, really well. So I'm going to play the video for you in full, and then I'm going to have talk about it. It's only about 26 seconds, but it's 26 seconds that will wear your brain out. And here's the sad part. It's from CBS. It's from CBS. Like, what are we doing, people? This is insane. What are we doing that CBS runs bullshit like this? But let's talk about it. I'm going to play this video. This is called We Need to Talk Now. This is presented by CBS Sports. And I'm going to let you know exactly who these two women are. And then we can talk about it after I play the video.
I think it was like a little weird the way that it came through. And a lot of people had things to say about positioning just Caitlin Clark, which I agree with, because she's not the only player that brought in revenue. She's not the only player who's bringing in eyes. She's brought in a lot. Her impact is great. But you could say the same thing for the entire rookie class that came in last year, and other players as well that are existing that are bringing in so many eyes to this league. So I think it was like.
Okay, now the one on the right, I found her. Her name is Tall Swag. Her name is Alicia J. Her nickname is Tall Swag. She's a 6'6" girl slaying the world. She is a believer. Now, let me share it with you. I'll let you see who she is, because I'm pretty sure that's who she is. This is her. Meet Miss Alicia J. Tall Swag. That looks like her, right? I think that's her. Believer, sometimes funny, foodie, social media manager, reporter at We Need to Talk, standing a little bit taller every day. I don't need to go through this. I mean, I guess this is to show that this is probably her. Yeah, that's her. That's her. And you know what, ladies, if you're gonna do a TV show or a podcast, how about you like look decent? You know, it's a little odd that you would come out, showing yourselves on television and getting dressed up like this. You look, that woman looks beautiful. Like real talk, she does. I believe her name is, Ashley Nicole Moss. Like she's very, very pretty, by the way. I think she's the other one. This girl's beautiful. Like straight up, she's beautiful. So why are y'all doing the damn podcast looking all bummy and stuff? Why do you look? Why are you looking like this today? I don't get it. Like you jumping on, you're doing a podcast, and you looking like you just roll out of bed. I think that's Ashley Nicole Moss. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, she's pretty with or without, but why are you looking like y'all just roll out of bed? I mean, I don't look like I rolled about. I got a t-shirt on. I'm clean shaven, shaved up, shaped up. I mean, I'm looking all pretty for y'all, right? Like that's what I do, most of the time, naturally. I never look like I just rolled the fuck out of bed. They look like they just roll out of bed, which to me is disrespectful to the audience. Like, get your ass, like, look semi like you didn't. I mean, you're wearing a hoodie. Like, come on now. Let's go. Let's get it together, ladies. But all jokes aside, although they do look like they rolled out of bed, all jokes aside, why are we still doing this? Why are people still doing this? Why are people not acknowledging reality? Why are people continuing with a fucking narrative that is just absolutely exhausting to listen to? It's utterly crazy. It's utterly crazy that we have to continue to listen to this fucking narrative almost a year later after you saw it in your face. Like this wasn't a dream, it wasn't an accident. Everyone knows who generated all the stir in the WNBA in 2024. They're running with a story that the league has been continuing to grow. Well, I got data that can directly refute that. Okay. So what do I mean by that? There are facts out there that refute what she just said. Now, overall attendance in the WNBA, yes, 23 to 24, it was more. Yes, that is absolutely 1000% correct. Okay. Now, in the grand scheme of attendance, did attendance go up from 23 to 24? Yes, in a vacuum. But we don't view things in a vacuum. We view things in reality, right? In a vacuum, attendance went up from 6614 per game in 23. This is across the league to 9806 per game. That's across the league in a vacuum. If you subtract the Indiana Fever from 2023 and then you divide there, attendance actually went up. The average attendance went up from 6614 to 6845 in a vacuum. If you subtract Indiana in 2024, the attendance in the league by average went down from 9806 to 8718. That's over almost 1,100 people per game average. So without Indiana included, the attendance in the WNBA went up from 6845 to 8718. So yes, attendance did go up across the league. Why, you may ask? And I can break it down. There are various reasons. Caitlin Clark is the reason. Caitlin Clark created excitement that actually excited people in other cities to go watch their teams play. Caitlin Clark brought attention to the league that didn't exist before. Caitlin Clark probably also, I don't know, maybe excited corporations to be more active in sponsoring and endorsing and giving sponsorship endorsement of these teams, advertisement revenue. You know what happens when you sell a sponsorship to Coca-Cola and you're a franchise? You know what happens? You're the Lakers. If you're the Lakers and Coca-Cola is a sponsor of the Lakers, Coca-Cola gets tickets. They get tickets. So if you added sponsorships, you gave away more tickets because of the sponsorships. Now, am I going to sit here and say that that is what the difference is? No, not at all. Yes, there was an increase in attendance. There was. I give them credit. Clap, 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 clap. But let's be real. If you now have multiple sponsors that you didn't have last year, that's actually a real good indicator of why your attendance went up a lot. Because there's attendance numbers that skyrocketed and there's no true explanation as to why. Because when you watch their games, you didn't see bodies in seats. When you watch the Minnesota Lynx, you didn't see bodies in seats. They curtained off their upper deck. You didn't see bodies in seats. They averaged 8,313 fans per game. These are paid tickets. These are tickets or distributed tickets, whether paid or comped. You don't know how those tickets were given away. They were purchased or if they were comped. Keep that in mind because a year earlier, Minnesota only averaged 5,600 fans per game. That's a sizable increase. And yet, Minnesota was last in 23 and still last in 24. So how do you attribute that? Is it all of a sudden people are big fans? Because you know what Minnesota was drawing in the playoffs until the finals? 8,300, 8,500, 8,000. They couldn't give the tickets away. They could not give the tickets away. Remember, I did a video on ticket prices in Minnesota in the conference finals or in the finals or whatever. You could get them for $10, $20. There's something ridiculous like that. You could give them away for almost nothing. You know who gives away tickets for nothing? Corporations. If they can't give them to an employee, maybe they'll put them on Vivid Seats or Ticketmaster or the Ticket Exchange or one of these apps, these ticket brokers that can sell the tickets for them. If they can't give them away, they might as well sell them. I'm not saying that's what's happened, but it's a possibility. It's an absolute possibility. The Indiana Fever's attendance from 23 to 24 increased 400+%. They went from averaging 4,066 people, 4,066 people at home, 4,066 to 17,035. That is a 400+% increase in attendance. We know what that resulted in and created in Indianapolis? $36 million of revenue. These are numbers. These are numbers. These are real numbers. This is the Caitlin Clark impact on Indiana, Indianapolis, the market, the league. And you have someone like that sitting there doing this Me Too shit all over again. You want to know how much the Chicago Sky increased in ticket sales from 23 to 24? They went from 72.41 to 87.57. So they went up 1,500 people per game. Still not a sellout. Not a sellout. So tell me, why couldn't Angel Reese generate the buzz that Caitlin Clark did? Why didn't they go from 7,200 to selling their building out? Why didn't they do that? I mean, I thought Angel Reese had real swag and real pull. Camila Cardoso's on her team too. Both of them are rookies. So I guess you can divide the attendance between the two rookies, not just hand it to Angel Reese. Because this whole concept that all these rookies, this entire class was so responsible for such a shift in the WNBA is ludicrous. It's lunacy. Who the hell went to go see Aaliyah Edwards play in Washington? In fact, the attendance for Washington at home in 24 was 65.41 average. In 23, it was 43.90. Now, consider the fact that if you take away the two Caitlin Clark games, which accounted for literally 41,000 people of the 130,000 that went to see Washington play, let's just do basic mathematics. Divided by 130, 830. You're talking that's 31.3% of their entire season attendance was 2 Caitlin Clark games. And their average bloated from what would be 49.88 to 65.41 because of those Caitlin Clark games that they moved to the Capital One Center. So their attendance as a whole went up 600 people. Now, there are some teams that had some significant increases. The New York Liberty is one of them. I don't know what the hell happened there. I really don't. They went up almost 5,000 people. Again, there's got to be some reason to it. It's not just because people all of a sudden love the New York Liberty, but they didn't love them the year before. Vegas went from 95.51 to 11,282. Again, remember they sold out their building for the year, but 11,282 is not a sellout in their building. The Storm went up to 11,184 from 89.29. Again, the Seattle Storm benefited greatly from the 36,500 people that Caitlin Clark brought into their building, which was like 15% of their entire season average, in their entire season's attendance. It was significant. It literally drops their average from 11,184 to 10,388. Like, she skewed needles. She was an outlier that distorted numbers in arenas around the league. So you have, I mean, look, the numbers changed. The numbers were massively impacted. And I'm sorry, I made a mistake earlier when I said that the Lynx were last in the league in attendance. I was looking at their away average. I apologize. That was my mistake. Apparently, no one wants to see them on the road. But the Lynx actually went from 7.7776 in 23 to 9291 in 24. And remember, when they played the Fever, they filled the building up. So their numbers were drastically skewed by Indiana and Caitlin Clark. So, yeah, so I correct what I said earlier. I was looking at their away averages. It's funny because the away average for Indiana last year was actually second in the WNBA. That's how bad the WNBA was. In 23, Indiana was second in the league in away from home averages as to people there. That's crazy in itself with how bad they were. But like looking at Phoenix, 24, they're 10,714. Phoenix was 91.96. That's not a substantial increase. That's a marginal increase that is easily skewed by Caitlin Clark. Like let's be honest, and that's all I'll ever talk about is just to be honest about things. And being honest in the WNBA does not exist with this old guard narrative that they just want to keep on spewing and pushing down your throat as if you're a fucking idiot who doesn't know any better. You know, you look at the Indiana game. I'm trying to pull up last year's Indiana game with Phoenix. 17,071. Did they play them twice at home or once? Let's see. Indiana. They played them once at home. So, yeah, they'll hit them once at home from what I'm seeing. So, again, their attendance got skewed a little bit by that. These numbers are skewed, and they're all attributable to Caitlin Clark's presence. Caitlin Clark brought eyes. See, that's what these women want to ignore. If you bring eyes, people are going to naturally look at other things as well. But now I'm going to bring you another statistic, a true statistic that tells the real story of the WNBA. Attendance went up. Yes, it did. It did. And it should go up probably again this year. We'll see what happens. But don't dare sit here and tell me that the Sparks became a household name because of Cameron Brink. Please don't tell me that. Do not tell me that. The Los Angeles Sparks home average in attendance per game when Cameron Brink was playing was under 11,000. That includes a game versus Indiana where they got 16,000 people, their largest crowd of the season. Right? Without her, their entire season, which you include those first games, you include all the games, their entire average was over 11,000. So they actually drew better without her. But Cam Brink brought fans. Cam Brink brought eyes. Cam Brink brought interest. Is that what you're telling me? Not in LA. Clearly not in LA. In fact, if you want to go look at what her road attendance games were, 78.53 in Connecticut. That's 20% short of a sellout there. 32.60 in Atlanta. The Atlanta building holds 3,500. She couldn't fill it up. 81.17 at Minnesota. 82.02 at Seattle. Minnesota at home last year averaged 92.91. Seattle averaged 82.02. I'm sorry, Seattle averaged 11.184. So when Cam Brink went to Minnesota and Seattle, she was well under their season average. How about when she went to Phoenix, 10,207, 500 under the Phoenix average? How about in Chicago, 79.17, almost 800 under the average? So in that game specifically, you had Cam Brink, Angel Reese, and Camila Cardoso, 3 of the top 7 picks, and they still could not sell the building out. I'm sorry, you know what? I made a mistake. At Indiana, it was 16,000. At home was 19,103. Their numbers were freaking skewed by Indiana when she played. So heck, even in Indiana, that was below their season average of 17,035. No one cared about seeing Cam Brink play. Vegas, 10,286. Vegas averaged 11,282. That's 1,000 less people. I'm reading this stuff, people. Like, I have this written down. I thought Cam Brink brought eyes. I thought Cam Brink brought interest. That's what this woman, Too Tall Jones, said here. That's what Too Tall here said. I'm just responding to stupidness. Tall Swag, Alicia J. That's what she said, right? Who else? Let's also look. Let's take another look. Let's take some more looks at some stuff here. As we proceed, Aaliyah Edwards, when she went to Chicago, 79.48. That was below their average of 87.57. Aaliyah Edwards, when she went to, I'm just going to pull them game by game and see if what it is. When she went to Phoenix, 77.09. That is well under the Phoenix average. Remember, these are the rookies. These were the rookies who made it all happen, right? Dallas, 51.29, well under their average. Chicago again. Let's see if she broke the average this time. 87.63. No. She beat it by 6 in that game. Wow, impressive. Impressive. They really wanted to see her that night. I don't know what happened. Maybe Angel Reese was still playing at that point. Who knows? Maybe not. Seattle. In Seattle, she drew 9,535. Seattle averaged 11,184. So as you see, all these rookies, and they're great. Everyone wanted to see him play, I thought. That's what she said. 72.24 Minnesota. Minnesota's average was 92.91. Let's also look here again. Let's look at Vegas. Let's look at Vegas. Here we go. 10,376. The Vegas average was 11,282. I thought people had interest. New York, the average here. So they had 12,477. The average was 12,729. So again, she's below the average. She's another rookie that you said they wanted to see play. The Sparks, LA. 3,000. Okay, this one doesn't count. They played in that miniature building, but whatever. That doesn't count. So you look at these games. This is another rookie. Who's another rookie we can bring up? So you got Caitlin Clark, who we know drew everywhere. Then you got number 2 pick was Cam Brink, who we know drew less than averages across the league at these buildings. Then we know number 3 was Camila Cardoso. We know Angel Reese. Let's take a look at Chicago. Let's see what Chicago did in different buildings that were not Indiana, because Indiana made them look great. Let's go look there. Let's take that. Let's take that journey. Again, I'm doing this blindly. I'm not even doing it as if I know in advance. I am assuming Now, Chicago might have done better in certain situations. Like in New York, I know they had a kick-ass number. That was good for them. Fabulous for them. Let's see the first time they played in New York. That was May 23rd. They did 12,049. That's under the average. Oh, damn. They didn't break the average the first game. That's when there's the most excitement. Okay, let's take a look here. Washington. Okay, this is when they played in the Capital One. So, yeah. Oh, no. They played them in the Care First Arena the first time. Ooh, 4,200. Man, Washington didn't even think to move that game to make the big building to the second go round. Let's see here. What else? I'm not doing Indiana at all. They played in Atlanta. Wait, where did it go? Where did it go? I did it the wrong way. Sorry. Atlanta. They went to Atlanta. Let's see what they did. They did 3,260. That filled up their building. Atlanta moved their games versus Indiana to the whatever they call the Omni in Atlanta now. I don't know what it's called anymore. But they moved their games against Indiana to the big building. They played Angel Reese in the little building. I thought they wanted to see people play. How about in Seattle? Let's see what she did in Seattle. Why do I keep clicking the wrong thing? That's stupid. Let's see how she did in Seattle. 88, 84. Then they were back-to-back nights. 10,725. Well, that's under Seattle's average again. Again, I thought I was told that the rookies they all wanted to watch the rookies play. The next night in Seattle, it was 11,283, which is just a marginally above 100 more than. So they broke it that time. They played in back-to-back games, by the way. And then let's take a look at Vegas. In Vegas, they did 10,396, which is short by 1,000 of the average in Vegas. What you get what I'm doing here, folks? Minnesota, 84.21. The average in Minnesota was 92.91. Again, doesn't look good for rookies. Apparently, since all the rookies brought all the attention. Isn't that what we were told? Connecticut, 89.10. Okay, that was higher than their average by 500. Congratulations. You did a great job. You did a great job. At the end of the year when you played them, you were at 8,092, which was below the average. So you actually probably were about even. Phoenix. Let's see what they did in Phoenix. That was at home. My bad. Minnesota again. Under the average again. So, okay, now we got 1, 2, 3. Who was the fourth pick in the WNBA draft? I mean, I think you get where I'm going with this one here. Let's see who was the WNBA fourth pick. 2024. It was Rickea Jackson. Okay, we've already established that the second pick didn't draw anybody. So that means the fourth pick didn't draw anybody either. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who the hell was 5? Fifth pick. It was JC Sheldon. She didn't draw shit anywhere. We already know that. Let's take a look at the WNBA draft. Look at this. WNBA 2024 draft. Let's go to the board again. So we've gone through Caitlin Clark, which we know drew everywhere. We went to Cameron Brink, who didn't draw the averages in other buildings. We went to Camila Cardoso, same shit. Rickea Jackson, teammates with Cam Brink. The funny thing is, in two of these teams, you had two of the players on each team. JC Sheldon drew nothing. Aaliyah Edwards couldn't draw a fly to shit. Angel Reese didn't draw flies to shit on the road. It's been proven. She didn't even reach the averages. Why? Because Caitlin Clark skewed the averages in every building in the country. Elisa Pili, nobody cared. Carla Leite, nobody cared again. Lila Lacan, who the fuck is that? Markeisha Davis, no clue. Nayadu Pooch, again, no clue. This is the draft. This is the first round of the draft in 2024. So again, you were lied to. Don't you like being lied to by people like Tall Swag, Alicia J, who literally just made some shit up? And I'm gonna go deeper because this is how I roll. This is what I always do because you know who I am, right? You know what I do. You know who I am. You know how I roll. So let's talk about this one here. TV ratings. TV ratings. TV ratings will tell you more than anything, right? Won't they? Yes, they will. If you by now you've seen Ben Daniels' podcast because you watch him, you probably watch me. So I appreciate you supporting my boy over there. And I appreciate you supporting me over here. I thank you so much in advance, as usual. I've known these numbers forever. Caitlin Clark's average game was 1.2 million in TV ratings, 1.178 if you want to be exact, right? She carried Friday night ratings for the WNBA. Certainly triple to 6 times. Actually, triple. 4 to 6 times more. Shit. Is it 4 to 8 times more maybe? a lot more than what Unrivaled has gotten on Friday nights on TNT while they were playing their games on Ion, which I didn't even know was a channel for sports, before the season began, by the way. So let's look at this specifically. 394,000 was the average without Caitlin Clark, correct? He confirmed that already. You saw his podcast. He confirmed that number. You want to know what the attendance was last year in the WNBA? Not the attendance, the TV ratings. This will blow your mind. This will absolutely blow your mind. Combined viewership for the WNBA across ESPN networks, ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, CBS television network, ABC, ESPN, CBS, 505,000 viewers. Don't believe me? Here, take a look. This is NBA Communications. This is 2023. 505,000 viewers. That was the viewership of the WNBA on television in 2023. Okay? See the date of the release? September 2023. It was up from 2020. It was up from 2022. 21%. So let's do some mathematics there. 505,000 times 0.21. Actually, it was only up 8%. My mistake. I'm reading it again. This was 21% over the 2022. So 21% over 2022 regular season. Viewership across was up 8% over last season. Oh, I'm sorry. 21% from 22. It was 8% from 21 to 22. Okay, so I was correct. Let's take a look again. Let's go divide this. 505 times 0.21. That's 106,000 viewers. Let's go subtract that now. 505,000. That is 398,395 per game. That was what the average attendance, average TV viewership was in 2022. 2022 was 398,950 people watched per game on TV. Think about that for a second. The numbers last year in games that Caitlin Clark was not in on TV did 394,000. You see how they like to smoke and mirror you to death? Let's smoke and mirror them to death. Let's put the paper before their eyes and say, "Oh, oof." That's how we roll. We like to make stuff up. We like to create false numbers. Okay, here we go. The WNBA draft in 23 was 572,000. Remember what it was in Caitlin Clark in 24? 2.4 million. Wow, crazy. This, the 23 All-Star game, 850 average. What was it last past year? Was it 3.3 million, something like that? It was some crazy number. I mean, I'm just asking. Yeah, I'm just asking. This is from the NBA. You told me that more people watched. No, they didn't. They didn't. They didn't watch. They watched Caitlin. In fact, the rest of your league had their numbers go down. So your numbers went from 505 average in 23 to 394 in 24 when Caitlin Clark was not on the bill, when she wasn't on the scoreboard. Whatever building it was in, when she wasn't on the scoreboard, it was 394. A year earlier, when she wasn't even in the fucking league, it was 505. And you tell me how that works. You tell me how you're going to sit here with a straight face and look at people and say, it's because of me too. It's because of me too. Oh, she's not the only one. The people in the draft were, her draft class. I just showed you that the attendance for her draft class was shit, except for her. Unless they played at her building or she went to their building when it was them by themselves, no, outside of the Angel Reese game in New York, nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a flying fuck. But she's going to lie to you. So, yes, their attendance went up. Yes, it went up. 2,000 people per game. Congratulations. That was also in part because of Caitlin Clark. Because Caitlin Clark brought eyes to watch women play. Caitlin Clark brought sponsorship, endorsement, corporate deals to every team pretty much by showing up. Because now those corporations wanted to get in early while it was cheaper. The same reason teams they wanted to get a franchise last year, and the franchise fee is like $250, and now the franchise fee is $500 million. Like, whoa. Your franchise fee jumps from $200 million or $250 to $500 million 1 year later? Based on what? It ain't based on the numbers that your league is doing. It's based on numbers one player alone is doing every day. And you're going to have these two women sit on a CBS platform. And the sad part is the one on the left is young. She's not even 30. And she's taking this bullshit. I mean, it's frustrating to see that some of these women are so mentally mind-fucked and manipulated to just sit there and say, okay, whatever you say, it's true. I can't debate it. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can have numbers hit you right in the face and sit here and lie. And just flat out lie. The fact that one franchise had 31.3% of its entire annual attendance against one team twice. Are you kidding? Here's the funny thing. Here's the real funny thing of all that. Washington didn't sell out their building. Their building is a Band-Aid box. 4,200. They couldn't sell out their building. Think about that. They couldn't sell out the fucking building. So if they had brought that to Capital One for the whole season, they would have curtained off not just the upper deck, but they would have curtained off half of the lower deck. That's how bad it would have been. Because they couldn't put 3,000, 4,000 people in that building every game. That's how bad it was. But you had a top 7 rookie, the number 6 pick in the draft in that building. I mean, for Christ's sakes, their owner doesn't even know that she plays there. Their owner mentions Angel Reese ahead of her own player. What does that tell you? These people don't have any fucking idea. They're running with a phony narrative that is beyond anything. It's like, did you not learn? Did you not learn? Did you not see with your eyes what happened? Are you not watching right now what's happening? That the NBA was begging Caitlin Clark to compete in a 3-point contest that they then canceled because she chose not to compete in it. Think about that. Is that insane or what? Like, that's crazy. She made a decision to not compete in something in another sport, another league, and they canceled it because she didn't do it. They announced her as if she had already committed, and she had never committed. See, when you push something, you say, well, this is what we want to do. It's not fair because you make it seem like, well, if she doesn't do it, then she's hurt so many people. No, you hurt so many people by creating a narrative that she was going to do it. She never said she was. Just like she never said she was going to play in Unrivaled. And look what that has done to the Unrivaled League. Look what it's done. Do you think that the ratings would be higher if Caitlin Clark were playing in Unrivaled? I mean, you got to think they would be. You got to think that they would not be. I mean, you see what's happening. They basically hovered under 100, hovered between 140 and 190 on Fridays and Mondays, 120 to 190 actually, on Fridays and Mondays for the last 4 weeks. And on Saturdays, they're dreadful. They're worse. I mean, you would have strategically put her on Friday night, and you would have probably put her on Saturday night because that's when you could truly maximize. But I don't know what it wouldn't have mattered because Caitlin Clark fans would have watched her play if she played on Friday, Saturday, or Monday. It wouldn't matter. I'm curious to know what the ratings were yesterday, considering the fact they played on a Tuesday, which was not their normal day of the week. But when you look at it from the perspective of think about how, at a bare minimum, Caitlin Clark games will be drawing 1 million people every day, every game. Every game, they would draw 1 million people. But Unrivaled played a hand they didn't have. The NBA played a hand they didn't have. That's the impact that woman's had on the league. She's had an impact that's so profound that other leagues are begging her to play. Now, I understand that video was partially in part due to that agent of hers making some comments. So she's referring back to money and stuff like that. I'm gonna talk about that agent in another video. But specific to this, specific to saying that other players did it too, nobody cared about watching Nafisa Collier play in the WNBA. Nobody cared about watching. I mean, Nafisa Collier has the lowest road attendance in the WNBA. I did say that. So I made a mistake earlier when I was misreading it. The Minnesota Lynx, who went to the WNBA finals, have the lowest road attendance on average in the WNBA. They're uninteresting. Even though we have learned that Nafisa Collier is clearly the second best player in the league behind Caitlin Clark, or if you say she's better, I won't even argue it with you because she's incredible. But whether she's 1 or 2 is an opinion. She's damn sure not 3 because Asia Wilson's not 1 or 2. So it's 1 or 2, whatever you choose. And you also saw how fucking amazing Kayla McBride is, who's on her team in Minnesota. Now you have also seen that Courtney Williams never shuts her mouth. She's also there. But this team for the last 2 years has been the most disinteresting team to fans in other buildings over the last 2 seasons. Couldn't draw flies to shit on the road in the regular season. Think about it. So who are they paying to watch? Who are people paying to go see? I don't know. You paying to watch Jewel Lloyd play? No. Are you paying to watch? Like here, did I close it all out? I don't even know if I closed it all out or not. No, I didn't close it out. Let's take a look at the road attendance for each team. Away attendance. The average away attendance for each team. Chicago was 10,676. I'm not including Indiana because Indiana was top at 15,131. Chicago 10,676. The Sparks 10,074. The Aces 9976. The Dream 9494. The Phoenix Mercury 9462. Connecticut 9255. Seattle 9191. New York, who won the championship, 9,020. Dallas 8638. Washington 8452. Minnesota 8313. Now, I don't know where teams got their highest number from. I'm going to presume that the high on the road for the Aces, Dream, Mercury, Sun, Liberty, Wings, Mystics, and Lynx was all playing at Indiana. I'm going to presume that because it's the same number. And no one else in the league is drawing 17,274. So I'm going to presume that's in Indiana. Seattle did an 18,724. Don't know where that was. The Sparks did 19,125. I don't know where. Chicago did 18,394. That probably may have been in New York, I'm guessing. And then Indiana did 20,711. That was in Washington. So, yeah. And their low is still 62.51 because that was in Dallas where they wouldn't move the game to the American Airlines. And everyone else is under 4. You tell me, people. You tell me. So if you look at that to 2023, the Aces were number 1, Fever 2, Phoenix 3, Dallas 4, Liberty 5, Sparks 6, Chicago 7, Washington 8, Connecticut 9, Atlanta 10, Seattle 11, Minnesota 12. Minnesota hasn't drawn shit on the road, like trash. Now, all their numbers went up on the road. They did. They did. I'm not gonna sit here and say they didn't. I don't know where the ticket sales came from. I'll be real. I think corporate sponsorships probably increased lots of comps because I watched tons of games that had empty buildings. Like seriously, had empty buildings. And I know for a fact that Caitlin Clark's numbers skewed everybody's numbers on their home floor. They skewed them drastically on almost everyone, except for Dallas, because they didn't actually move them. Everyone else's numbers got. Chicago didn't move them either, but Chicago couldn't sell out when they played anybody except for Indiana. But it is what it is. This is sad, and at this point I'm rambling. This is sad, and the fact that they're going there already, and we're in February, means that this shit ain't stopped. This shit is not stopped, and they're gonna keep spewing lies after lie, lie after lie after lie after lie to try to make it seem like there are other players in this league who are relevant to the actual massive increase in viewership besides Caitlin Clark. Television ratings in your face dropped 111,000 in games that Caitlin Clark did not play in 2024 from 2023. So people watch Caitlin, you fluff up your number now, so the average was over 600 something thousand because of Caitlin, but the actual real number of the people that were in the league, flush. That's all I got. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. I appreciate you. I cherish y'all. Thank you for watching this. I appreciate it. As always, this is Rudy's Rant. We talk facts over feelings. Come on now.